Hey guys, here's another chair I've been asked to repair. Um, the owner said that the chair had broken, and so I think that's a slight understatement, because just about every joint in this chair has come undone, lots of previous repairs and stuff. And so a lot of work. If I maybe give it a poke, you can see that every joint here is gone. All these joints here are open. All these joints here are open. Yeah, it's a bit of a mess, really. So here's a previous repair on the top right. A similar repair was done on the top left, but it's very loose, but it's still hanging in there. The cross pieces are in terrible state. This has had multiple previous repairs and the wood is all disintegrated, so may have to refabricate all of that. Same over here on this side. And okay, the tenons seem to be in slightly better condition on the bottom, but yeah, not everything is relative. So here at the rear tenon is completely smashed off. Where the seat fits, see the screw came out of the seat on this side. And on this side, the whole mechanism, the whole piece just came apart. Still, what's left of it is stuck on the side of the seat here. This joint is completely undone. So is this one at the back. So yeah. I did check with the owner, and structural integrity and the ability to use it on a daily basis takes priority over any value the chair may have. So yeah, I have a free hand to do whatever we need to make this thing a usable chair again. Just to give you an idea of how much work is pending on this chair, after I cleaned out all of the wood filler and wax and everything else that had been used to hide the previous work, we end up with, at least here the tenon is okay, but this is where it goes into the upright. So as you can see, the whole front piece of this is broken off, and there was a little bit of the wood left which had been glued to the tenon, and then the whole thing had been surrounded by large quantities of some sort of wood filler, which or plastic wood or something. It hadn't even hardened terribly well. So yeah, that's pretty useless. Not too much. I'm not sure that there's anything I could put along here on the front that would give us enough structural integrity. So that's just the first part. The other one I haven't really cleaned up this yet, but it's not in bad condition. However, where the mortise is here, you can see again the front has a huge crack running here, and at some point in the past when it was broken, the repairer decided he wasn't going to bother trying to close the gap. He just filled the whole thing with wood filler or plastic wood of some sort, so that the end of it here sits way up proud. So of course that means that this can't really seat properly, and again there was copious quantities of filler all around here. Just to make matters worse, there is a nasty crack running all the way down here, and there is a nasty crack running all the way down here. There is also, you can't see it, a crack running from the bottom edge here all the way up to the front edge here. And of course the top is completely smashed off, which goes on like there and has had multiple repairs in the past as well. So, initial assessment of this is I'm not sure that there's anything I can do with this upright piece that would ever give you a guaranteed good result. So my feeling is that this whole piece has to be refabricated here. And of course the challenge is that right about here is where the stress would be maximized as people sit on the chair and lean back. So whatever joint, if I refabricate from about here up, the critical thing is going to be what sort of joint do I put here. Anyway, plenty to do on this one. The mortises here were kind of mostly stuffed with busted tenon, so I managed to get all those out, and the mortises themselves are in reasonable condition. Same here. This middle one here, which is takes the tenon which supports the seat, again has been badly smashed away, and there are some cracks all around here. But I think this one's salvageable. It's this upright piece here. That's the challenge. At this stage I've cleaned up all of the individual pieces of the chair, so I know, if you like, what repairs need to be done to the individual pieces. For this upright at the rear, I have to replace that because the damage is so bad. There's no way I can make anything that'll be structurally sound here for the two cross pieces. So I need to make a plywood template for this, and to do that I've had to reaffix the top piece here, which is broken off. So I've just re-glued that so that I'll have the full outline of the template that I need. Before I go rushing headlong into replacing the upright on both side frames, the one on this side has, apart from the breakout damage for the where the mortise joints are, there aren't lots of huge cracks. There's major damage up this end, but there aren't huge cracks running up and down the back, so I decided I would just route out back to solid wood, make sure everything looks good, and then see about putting a hardwood replacement piece in here like this. And so at the moment I'm going to give this a shot. So I'll glue this into place. It fits nice and snug, and etc. And then I'll shape it to the rest of the piece and see how we go. I just tacked this piece on here quickly originally to get myself the scroll shape for the template. If this works, however, then I'll have to salvage this scroll at the end here, so I'll have to do a bit more work on that. Right, there's the insert glued in, so we'll come back to that tomorrow and see about profiling it to the rest of the upright. Okay, so here is that hardwood piece fitted and largely shaped to the size of the upright here. Reasonably happy with it so far. Takes a lot of work to get the profile right when you don't have any specific details. What I will say is if you can get yourself, especially with working with hardwood, if you can get yourself these razor files, especially working with hardwood, these make life a whole lot easier. So if you haven't seen them, I'll put a link in the description to where I get mine. These guys are really useful when it comes to working with very hardwoods. Okay, so that's that bit. So next I need to stabilize this part here on the scroll, because there's lots of air gaps, and so there's really not a lot of structural integrity here, so I'm basically and the gaps go about halfway back down through the thickness, so I'm gonna drill that whole thing out here and plug it so we have proper wood to wood contact everywhere, then reshape it. I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna refix this to the side piece when I'm done, because I don't really like the way it's done at the moment. I'll keep this one obviously, but I may do something completely different here onto how the other edge of it is held. So obviously the wood types are different because I wanted it the hardest possible wood I could stick in here, so it's like a big chunk of maple. And yeah, so it'll give me the maximum structural integrity. And I'll probably strip the whole chair and refinish the whole thing anyway. And along the way I will match up the color as best I can. So at least this here's on the inside, so it'll be less visible. Can't get away from this being at the front, but hey, we'll do our best to hide, to make it color match as best we can.